Hello, I'm State Carter. There are just 30 days left until the entire operation begins, and I wanted to share a story before it all kicks off. When I was a kid, I was in a happy religious family of 6 members. I had loving parents and 3 good siblings. I was grateful to be born into such a great family. I thank God for the food I had, the opportunity to go to school, and the nice bed I slept on. Everything was going well until I became a teenager. One day, when I got home from school, my mom and dad were having a fierce argument that escalated to the point where my dad began beating my mom. They did this in front of me and my 2 sisters. We were all crying. My older sister tried to stop our dad, but it was a traumatic experience for us all. I went upstairs to try and forget what happened. Fortunately, my older brother wasn't home and didn't witness the trauma that my sisters and I experienced. The next day, my dad apologized to my mom, and to us, everything seemed to return to normal, or so I thought. The following year, I was studying in my room at night when I heard my parents arguing again. I crept to their door and listened. I discovered that my dad was cheating on my mom. There was shouting, rage, and tears. I retreated to my room and cried, mourning the happy family we once were. As months passed, things worsened. My siblings began to be influenced by our parents' behavior. My older brother and sister treated me like a stranger. Fortunately, my little sister wasn't affected in the same way. My dad started beating me for small mistakes, and my little sister experienced the same treatment. Rumors about my family spread through our neighborhood and reached my school. I was bullied, harassed, and had things stolen from me. My school performance suffered, leading to bad grades. My parents despised me for this, and my older siblings rebelled against them. Eventually, eventually both of my older brother and sister left the house, leaving just me and my little sister. In my 20s, while my sister was 15, I protected her from our parents as best as I could. Weeks later, our parents separated after both were unfaithful, and I ran away with my little sister to start a new life together. Despite losing hope, I found solace in her presence and prayed to God for guidance. 4 months later, we were attending church regularly, and things seemed to be improving. However, in mid-June, I returned to our apartment after work and found my sister lying on the floor with blood spilling from her stomach. I rushed her to the nearest hospital in New York. The nurses quickly took her to the ER, but after 20 minutes, the doctors informed me that she had died. I was devastated, depressed, and hopeless. I stopped praying to God and lost my faith. After a while, I wanted to know what happened to her, but then I remembered that the doctors informed me after announcing her death that she had stab wounds. I couldn't tell earlier when I saw her on the ground because I was full of panic and worry, unable to think of anything else but her. After paying the hospital bills, I noticed that most of our valuable items were missing. I wanted revenge. I wanted to know who killed my sister. I wanted to kill the person who killed her, so I went to my landlord's office to check the CCTV footage. I saw him. He stabbed my sister in the stomach, stole our valuables, and then left immediately. Even the police couldn't find him, so I decided to do the work myself. 1 week later, I tracked down the guy who killed my sister. I waited for him to go outside at night. As he stepped out, I quickly stabbed him and dragged him inside his apartment. I tortured him, tormented him, and did unimaginable things to him until he died. I then bagged his body, dragged it outside, and threw it into the nearest body of water without leaving a trace. 3 days later, he was reported missing, but no one found him. It didn't feel like enough. I still felt depressed, remembering my sister's loss. I wanted more revenge. I wanted to find and kill the people who bullied me before, those who treated me like nothing. I went to the park to take a break and sat on the bench. Suddenly, a man in a business suit approached me. He looked familiar, and I realized it was Argon, the founder of the Argon Corporation, the hospital where I took my sister. He sat down beside me and asked if he could have a moment. I nodded and he mentioned my sister. Confused, I immediately asked, "How do you know about my sister? Were you behind this?" I was about to choke him, but he said no. He knew about my sister, what happened to her, my history, my family, school, everything. I asked him, "How do you know me, and what do you want from me?" He replied, Come join me and it will satisfy your cravings for vengeance and revenge." He gestured for me to follow him. We called a taxi and drove to his corporate headquarters. When we arrived, we went to his office and he asked me to sit down so we could talk further. He revealed the secrets of his intentions and the corporation. I was shocked, but then I remembered taking my sister to his hospital and asked, why? Why didn't your doctors manage to save my sister then? He replied, they could have, but she died because you didn't bring her here in time. It was too late. I'm sorry. I accepted his apology. It was my fault for not bringing her in time. I froze at the entrance when I saw her on the ground. So it was my fault. I asked him why he would share such secrets with a stranger. He said it was because he had the same kind of teenage years and family as I did. I lost my sister, he lost his brother. I said, so we're the same. And he replied, yes, and that's why I'm here. I wanted to avenge him and take revenge on those who treated me badly. He offered me to work with him. I was very intrigued and satisfied with the true intentions of the company and him. So I quickly agreed and signed the papers. I had no idea how long his corporation had been, disguising itself as a medical company, like a wolf in a sheep's clothing. It was 1984 when I joined him. Now it's September 5, 1995. Just 30 days left until the operation begins and I can finally release the grudge I've been holding for so long. I will kill everyone, good, bad, or neutral. I'll kill all of them. All of you.
My candidates said will later family. Actions are standardische. Heel zie was het probeer mooi machines de grond eerlijk. Uljkw naar no of as it may be no one. Miss your parents is